There is one thing for which Democrats might want to thank George W. Bush. His presidency played a great part in bringing congressional Democrats back to power 4 years ago and in widening Democratic majorities 2 years ago. And Nancy Pelosi became the first woman in American history to take the gavel as Speaker of the House of Representatives. Speaker Pelosi rejoins us now. The former president spoke in Chicago today. He said his greatest failure as president was not passing, as he called it, Social Security reform. The softball is headed your way, and you can pick which favorite member of the San Francisco Giants you'd like to pretend to be as you swing on it. Please give me your response to that.
Well, I thank the president for validating the point that we made during the campaign, because when we were saying that the president initiated the idea that he wanted to privatize Social Security, people said we were exaggerating, we were fearmongers and the rest. It wasn't really so. But we stayed our course. He gave us a gift then. And he's the gift that keeps on giving, because he's giving us a gift now, because he's proving the point. That's what he intended to do. I remember during the course of that campaign, I was speaking with him at one of our leadership breakfasts. I said, Mr. President, I understand you're going to 60 cities and I don't know how many days to talk about your welfare reform. I want you to go to 120 cities in 20 days, because when you go there, we will be inoculating before you get there, educating after you leave, and making the distinction that Social Security is a pillar of our security for our seniors and the American people, and we will make that differentiation. Now and you know, after it was over and we won, I said, Mr. President, the results are in, and he said, actually, I achieved my goal. I really wanted to call attention to the situation.
Okay. Well, he also has provided something else during this campaign that perhaps there's been a lot of criticism that the Democrats had not taken. Obviously, the House doesn't operate in a vacuum, but the Democrats had not taken enough advantage over this, what the polling suggested was a winning position. Bush tax cuts for the rich, and if you want to call them Democratic tax cuts for everybody else. And yet the House adjourned without having a vote on this. Why did you, to the degree that you let that happen, why did you let that happen?
Well, we could have taken the vote and we would have won. But knowing the distortion that the Republicans would have applied to that, I said, they're going to be political. We're not giving that. We know what our position is. And by the way, it's a tax cut for everyone. It's just not an additional tax cut for people at the top 2% in our country. Everybody gets the tax cut. Just they don't get more at the top 2%. So knowing how they would distort it, the president is clear in his campaign, the president is clear in his message about that. It would cost $700 billion to give an extra tax cut to the people at the top 2%, $700 billion added to the deficit with no performance. You know, in other words, when that happened before, it did not produce jobs.
Obviously.
And speaking of jobs, I want to say, because I think everybody should know, that in the first 8 months of 2010, did you know that more private sector jobs were created under the Obama administration, the Democratic Congress, and the ingenuity and entrepreneurial spirit of the American people? More private sector jobs were created in the first 8 months of 2010 than in the 8 years of the Bush administration.
Let me close with this last question. Do you expect to be Speaker of the House in January 2011?
The Democrats intend to win. What's important is that we have a Democratic majority to protect what we have done, something very big. Health care for all Americans as a right, not a privilege. Wall Street reform to give more leverage to working families in our country. Affordability for college education. They want to reverse this. And our Democratic victory will prevent that. It's about the future. It's about moving America forward, not going back to the failed policies of the past, which they said they would do, the same exact agenda. And now it's about saving our democracy from those who want to buy it.
Indeed. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, always greatest thanks to you for doing that, and safe travels in the next 12 days.
Thank you very much.
We have breaking news tonight from Arizona. Congressman Raul Grijalva will join us next, confirming that a letter was sent to his office in Tucson containing a toxic substance. The good news about it is no one was hurt. He'll have the details when he joins us after this.